Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy, and joining me tonight from Dolphins United, we have Mr. David Pierre. David, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. Let's talk some football. I'm ready for this season. Ready.
Yeah, me too. Me too, brother. And I appreciate you for joining me tonight. I really do. And I want to thank everybody else that's in the chat for joining the chat. And whatever platform you're at, come over here to the YouTube channel. Look for Fins Talk Sports Network. Look for Real Talk Fins Talk. And come over here and join the family over here in the community on chat. And make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. David, again, I want to thank you very much. And I mentioned Dolphins United. What do you got going on over there?
All right. We're just a real channel for Dolph fans. All right. That's what we are. We keep it real with you. No sugarcoating. A little bit of optimism at times, but at the end of the day, we gotta look at our team and be able to determine what the real is. And that's what we do on our channel. I post a couple times a week during the season, and in the off season, I have a whole nother channel, food channel that I do. So I spend most of my time over there, but during the season, I'm over here on Dolphins United, and we're just chopping it up, and we're just talking about the game.
That's great, man. That's great. You know what? I'm going to get to that food channel you're talking about. I like to know a little bit about that. But for right now, we'll just talk football. So, David, I got you on here for a reason. I've been watching your channel for a little while now, and I've really enjoyed it. And as you said, man, as I do, I give folks, the fans, a dose of reality. Now, folks don't like that. They want to hear only the good, and that's fine. We need those type of fans, right? When I'm off this podcast and I'm watching my Miami Dolphins on the big screen or on TV, I'm 100% optimistic. I'm 100% positive. I want my team to win. I'm all for it. But here I have to be a little more objective, right? So that's why I got you on here, because I like your style. I like your content. You're direct, to the point, and you tell it like it is. So the first question I want to ask you, David, is how do you feel about this regime change that we're experiencing with Halfley and Sully and all that good stuff? Do you think we're going in the right direction, or how do you feel about that?
Well, that's a great question to start with. I truly believe that we're headed in the right direction. I like the direct. Moving on from Greer, even if we didn't move on from McDaniel, moving on from Greer was a true reset for us, because he had been with the team for like 25 years. We needed to get out the old guard, bring in some fresh new minds to run this thing in the right direction. Now, firing McDaniel, I was cool with that as well. Although, I thought he might have had a chance to stay, because it took a little while for them to cut him, for them to let him go. And we kind of know the story behind what happened there. But I feel like with these two, and you can kind of see it already with some of these rookies actually, showing us that they have potential right away, especially a guy like Caleb Douglas, picked in the 3rd round. And they were like, yo, why did you take him? He was like a 5th round talent. And, Eric Sully, he looked at him and was like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're going to see. And we're seeing, right? So these type of things, when you're seeing that you're getting talent in the later rounds and they're actually producing and they're moving up the depth chart, that's what you want to see. We didn't see a lot of that from Greer. Of course, he hit at times, but most of the time we were seeing that from the 1st round picks, 2nd round picks. But the later stuff, outside of a Van Ginkel and a Rashad Jones, you didn't really see a lot of the later round picks really picking their game up. And now it's still early. We could be wrong on that, but the way it looks right now, the way it's projecting, I like it. And I love what Coach Halfley has brought. It's more nonsense, but still he still seems like he's a player coach, but he's a no nonsense player coach, rather than McDaniel just being a buddy coach. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And you made a great point about this talent that they brought in, and they've stuck to their guns. I mean, they said it. I heard Sully say, he said, "Look, we're going to get guys that we think that fit the system, that fit what we're doing here. I don't care how good the guy is in college or what name he's made in college or whatever. We're picking the guys that we want." That are going to fit what we're trying to do here in the Miami Dolphins organization. And I love that. Another thing I like is the development. This is something I feel we haven't seen in a long time with this Miami Dolphins organization as far as coaching staff goes, right? The development of these players. And for example, Jonas Savaiinaea, they immediately, as soon as they came and they saw Jonas Savaiinaea, they moved him to his most natural position, which is the right side of that line as a guard, right guard. And so far, he's fitting right in. He's made a 180-degree turnaround from last year. Now, how that pans out in the regular season, we'll soon find out. Hopefully, some of the bad habits that he had last year won't pop up again. But I think the organization has done a great job, not only with him, but with Caden Proctor and all the rest of the rookies that have come in. That's a great point you made.
Yeah. Oh, and to speak on Savaiinaea real quick, they put a clip together of his preseason reps, and that in that first game, and he was mauling guys and just running guys over. He was pulling well. He showed some athleticism. The things that they drafted him for that we didn't see last year, we're actually seeing this year. Now, I'm not going to blame it on Butch, because I thought Butch last year was a pretty good offensive line coach, but something didn't click. And maybe it's just now it's clicking with this coaching change, and I'm not sure, but he looks like you said, it's a 180 with him.
Yeah, it is a 180 with him. And like I said, we'll see how it pans out in the regular season. So let me ask you this. How did you – I know you've already had some high regards for their draft picks and everything. Who was your favorite draft pick this year with the Miami Dolphins? Who did you like?
It was definitely Bell. Chris Bell.
Okay.
That was my favorite pick, because I didn't recognize the name, but then when I heard that he was a wide receiver from Louisville, I'm like, wide receiver from Louisville? There was a wide receiver from Louisville that was killing my Hurricanes. Like, he was just destroying them in that game. Like, and I was trying to figure out, who is this kid? And then it's the same Chris Bell that we drafted. I'm like, okay, we got a dog, because he destroyed us in one game 2 years ago. Like, completely destroyed and wrecked that game, and we lost, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I'm a Hurricanes fan too. So, yeah,
me too.
Yeah, I love that pick. Remember, it's like a Jarvis Landry 2.0 with a little more speed.
Yeah, you know who I kind of see him as a Deebo Samuel type player.
Yeah.
Very physical. Kind of a gadget guy. He can do end arounds, things like that. They can use him in various ways, and he's very physical. He's what, 6'2", like 222 or something like that.
Right.
So he's a big, strong kid, and he runs a 4.3 40. That's what's amazing. And I just hope, and I think I have a feeling that this coaching staff, they've done great with these rookies and in the development and building the culture here in Miami and everything. But I just hope that they don't rush them out into the field too soon, And I think we heard from Jeff Hafley today, Coach Haff, that they weren't, they're hoping that, he's going to be able to play. Now, he said he wasn't going to play this week, against the Giants.
Right.
But he did, but he's hoping that he'll be able to play sometime maybe in the regular season. That's the hope. But could there be setbacks? He said, yeah, there could be setbacks, but they just want to bring him back in real easy and eventually implement them into the team. And I think that's the smart way to do it. I'm hoping that's what they do, and I think they will. I believe they will.
Yeah, I read that he ran a route in 11 on
Yeah.
11 today. So
Yep.
it's progress.
Yeah, that big time progress. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally, I mentioned on this podcast here on Real Talk Fins Talk, I said, I don't think we're going to see him until like November or December. Dude, I think we might see him in September, October now.
Yeah.
The way that it's looking, so we'll see.
I would assume like maybe 2 or 3 games in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm excited, man. I mean, can you imagine him and Caleb Douglas together? Oh my gosh.
If it works out perfectly like that.
If it works out. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because what it also does, sorry to cut you off, but what it also does is it means that we don't have to dish out money right away for a weapon for Malik. We can hold off on that and wait until one of these guys are worthy enough for a paycheck. That's 2 to 3 years. That gives us a nice window to add talent elsewhere if it pans out that way.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point. And another thing too is we got what's his name? Kevin Coleman. He was back on the practice field today too.
He was.
So he's a good little slot receiver. Who knows? These guys could be the threesome right there, right? The slot and and then you got the boundary guy, Douglas, and then you got Chris Bell. So we'll see how that works out. I'm excited. I really am. I'm really excited for this team, and I'm excited for this team in this way. I don't expect Miami to win a bunch of games this year, and that's okay. I'm not expecting that. What I do expect is I want to see the development in the second-year players that were drafted previously before this regime even got here, right? The Kenneth Grants, the Jordan Phillips, the Zeke Biggers, the Dante Traders, Jason Marshall, those guys, right? I'm probably missing one or two. So that's what I want to see. I want to see those guys taking the next step, right? I want to see Jonas Evanaya is one that I think that he's already shown progress this year in camp. I mean, he's, like I said, 180. He's made 180 compared to last year just in camp alone. So that's a good sign. But I want to see these players go out on the field, and I want them to be physical. I want them to play, give it 110%. I want them to play hard. I want them to not give up, and just, after a team plays them, that other team comes off the field and says, you know what? These guys were better than we expected. They were physical. They're hard-nosed players. I mean, they gave us a run for our money. That's what I want to see.
Right.
I don't care about the wins on the board. Of course, I want them to win, right? But, I mean, what matters most to me is that development, that progress, the trajectory that they're going up, and I don't expect them to be – I expect them to be competitive, but I don't expect them to be maybe playoff bound maybe in another 2 or 3 years. That's what I'm expecting, right? Another 2 or 3 years. Maybe sooner. You never know. Well, what say you, David?
Yeah, well, I'm not expecting them to win a lot of games. And I'll put a prediction out here right now. We're probably going to go like 5-12, something like that. I don't see us winning much more than that. I will say that I agree with you. I think that if we can, especially some of the better teams, I don't want to just beat the teams that are on our level. If we can have a couple more of those Buffalo games from last year, because we stole one last year, even last year with the depleted roster, we got Buffalo. We took Buffalo in one game. So if we could do some of that against somebody, especially with our schedule, woo, it's tough. So if we could beat like a Kansas City, because I know they'll be coming back hungry because of what happened last year. If we could beat a Chargers with McDaniel over there, if we could beat Buffalo, if we could beat New England, maybe one game, if we could win some of these games or stay competitive all the way to the end in some of these games, I'll be happy. because it shows
Yeah.
us that we're headed in the right direction, especially if we get good quarterback play in those games against good defenses. That's really what I want to see, because we know what happened the last 2 years. Now, I'm not going to say and just disregard Tua like he was trash the whole time, but the last 2 years, it was bad. It was really bad. And we've gotten away from that. Thank God. We're moving on. We hope that when we go into a big game, we have a guy now that's going to step up rather than shy away from the lights. I'm hoping that that's Malik Willis. And based off what we saw last year in big games with him, we should be fine, because he showed up in big moments and with playoff implications while Love was hurt. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful.
Yeah, I like Malik Willis, and I'm expecting big things from him. This is a quarterback that we have never seen before on this Miami Dolphins football team. He adds another dynamic to this team. It's going to be hell for defenses to face him, especially when you got Achane back there and you got Malik Willis back there, and he can run too. And I think we're going to see a lot of play action, a lot of bootlegs and things like that with his and in fact, he plays better off script when he's throwing on the run than when he does in the pocket. So I think we're going to see a lot of movement back there with him, as far as, bootleg to the left, bootleg to the right, and that kind of stuff, and play action. So I can't wait to see him. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. I pray that he doesn't, make running his priority.
We can't have that.
That can't have that. Now I don't want to see him just standing back there in the pocket if he's got all kinds of green in front of him either. Right. But I do want him to just take it easy on the run when you have to. I'm sure that when the play breaks down and stuff like that, go ahead and take off and run if you see daylight or whatnot, make something happen. That's what I want to see. But I'm excited about him as well, David. I really am. We know what Achane can do. So, I know he's probably going to have another good year. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Right.
That's the main thing with him. And he had shoulder surgery in the off season too. Now, what I don't understand is we lost to the Washington Commanders, which again, I really don't care what the scoreboard said. I was more or less evaluating and the players and things of that nature. The only thing that I couldn't understand was, and I have to be honest, I really didn't like too much. Hafley had Achane in there for 7 plays in the first series, 7 carries. That was, he doesn't have to be in there that length of time in the preseason,
I agree.
How did you feel about that?
I was upset. I was like, okay, after the first good run, I was like, all right, get him out of there. Like he's good to go. Then they ran him 6 more times, and I'm like, come on, what are we doing? Like he can get hurt. Yeah. These are guys on defense that they're not first teamers. They're trying to make a name for themselves. So of course they're coming for Achane to make sure they put a big hit on a big time running back. You can't keep him in the game. You can't do it. You got to pull him out. Hopefully he doesn't play for the rest of the preseason.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. And you're right about the big hit. I don't know if you recall that hit that he took. The guy just pile driving him into the ground when he went up the middle. Do you remember that? I was like, oh my gosh, man, take him out. Please take him out.
He's the offense.
He's the whole offense, I mean, and hopefully Malik Willis, and maybe Caleb Douglas comes along. But he's definitely the star of the offense right now. He is the offense. Yep. Defenses are going to have to see. And that's another thing. How do you feel about this, David? We've got Achane back there. And like you said, that's really about all we have. And then, of course, we got Malik Willis, throwing the ball, and he's dynamic, and he can run. He can take off and throw off script and all that good stuff. That's fine. I get it. But what if they take away Achane? Now what? Do you think that's going to be a problem for this offense?
No, because of Malik, and
Okay.
because Malik can
That's
extend
fair.
plays, it's going to
Yep.
help us because when things break down, he's going to look to create. Whereas before, we didn't have that as an option. And now the wide receivers need to learn how to get open in a scramble drill. That's going to take some time. But as long as we have that ability to run with the quarterback or to make things happen with the quarterback, it's going to be tough to just put 8 in the box and say you're going to have to stop us throwing. Well, you better hope you don't have any leaks, because if he takes off, that's it. You have nobody back there to stop him. So with that, I believe we should be fine. Now, of course, some teams are going to make it tough on us. They're going to want us to pass the ball because we have unproven wide receivers. We're hoping that one or two of them show up, because if not, then they'll be able to double team a Douglas, put their best, like the Bill Belichick way. Take your second guy, double team Douglas if he is, coming on and becoming a great wide receiver. And whoever the second guy is, you put your best corner on him and you wash him away, and you have no offense if they're able to do that, right? So we don't want that.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that one, we're spreading the ball around. That'll help. Hopefully Dulcich, can get involved in the offense as well. And then hopefully Malik Washington can get involved in the offense as well, and not just leave it up to Caleb Douglas, because if that's all we have, it's not going to work. So hopefully we're spreading the ball around, but also hopefully we're mindful that, hey, we got to run some, read option. We got to run some triple option just to keep the defense off balance.
For sure.
We can't have them just bearing down on Achane the whole time. We can't allow that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And that's a good point too. That's what we're going to have to do. The same with the running back room, as far as I'm concerned, is we're going to have to run the ball by committee, right? I mean, Achane, you let him run a little bit, and then you put him out on wide as a receiver or something like that, right? And they've been doing that in training camp as well, putting him out wide, right, as a receiver, and he's a good receiver too. And so now they got to worry about Achane as a receiver as well as a running back. But what I think they should do is while he's out of the receiver, bring Ollie Gordon in as a running back, or Jalen Wright as your back, right? Share some carries with him. That's what I think they should do, running back by committee. And they also should have a receiver core by committee. Not any one receiver should be the main target like it was with the offense we were running with McDaniel's scheme, right?
Yes.
Everybody knew Tyreek Hill, and everybody they saw that, and they said, all right, we take away Tyreek Hill, and now they're one-dimensional. Now they're either going to have to run, or they're going to have to throw it to one of these other guys like Jalen Waddle or someone like that, which Waddle's a good receiver as well. Just he couldn't stay. He got banged up a lot. He got banged up a lot, and he started getting a little gun shy, in my opinion. In a way, I don't blame him, because Tua was throwing some hospital balls there, man. So I don't blame him. But anyway, I think they should have and I think they will. I think they're going to spread the ball around. That's the Green Bay way, right?
Right.
I mean, that's how they did it in Green Bay. Not saying they're going to be an exact duplicate of Green Bay, but I think they're going to implement some of those tendencies that Green Bay, did with their football team. Spread the ball around. There's not just a number one receiver. Everybody is getting the ball. Getting a piece of the ball. And so let me ask you, on offense, what do you think is I like the offensive line. Again, we don't know how they're going to respond in the regular season, right? Caden Proctor has been a beast in training camp. He's not saying he hasn't gotten beat here and there, but for the most part, the man is a monster. He can hold his ground. Not too many people can bull rush him, But what do you think, or how do you feel about what is the weakest link on offense in your opinion right now?
Weakest link. Hmm. Out of the starters or just the whole offense in general?
Yeah, just as starters. Yeah, as the starters.
Starters?
In general, I think in my opinion, the weakest link is we have no depth. We
Yeah,
don't have a
that's what I
lot
was
of
gonna
depth.
say.
You know,
we don't have any
but
depth
as
on
far
offense. It seems like on offensive line,
on both
it's
sides of
bad.
the ball, really.
Right?
But
Yeah. Um,
except linebacker. But yeah, the weakest link as far as the starters go.
as far as the starters, it's wide receiver. As of right now, because
Mm-hmm.
what we're seeing isn't good enough from everybody else but Caleb Douglas. Uh, I was hoping Malik Washington would show us a little more. It just hasn't been enough. And outside of him, Tutu Atwell, I was like, that's a good signing for us because it gives us another speedy back,
Yeah.
kind of like the
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill. But he's disappeared. We got to put an APB out for him. He's nowhere to be found at this point. Now, I heard he had a one-handed crazy catch today in practice. Good for him because honestly, he's been missing in action for I don't know how long. And
Yeah.
he's real small too, by the way. Like
Yes, he
Tyreek
is.
Hill is like 5'8", 5'9", but he's solid. This guy is skinny. I'm scared if he takes a hit, it's going to be a problem. Like he is frail. So even on top of even if he was a decent wide receiver, I'd be worried about him with injuries. So outside of Caleb Douglas, I'm a little worried right now until we see Chris Bell play. That's the weakest link to me on offense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right as far as that goes. Now, as far as I think the tight end group is not is maybe not the best group, but as Brett Lagasse said here, uh, what did he say here? He was talking about the tight end group. He was saying, as far as pass receiving, maybe not so good, maybe not the best, but I feel, and he feels as well, that blocking has improved with Casmer. What's his name?
Kazmarek. Oh, yeah,
Casmeric.
Kazmarek.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think in training camp he's had some really good strong blocks,
Yes.
and in the game too he did pretty well. He did okay as
They
far as
ran
blocking
behind
was.
him.
They did run behind him.
They ran
Yes.
behind him. A rookie.
Yeah, a rookie. You're right. He's a big dude. He's physical.
Yeah.
He's what 6'6", 265 or something like that. He's a big physical tight end. And he's like another defensive tackle, like a six blocker there, right?
Right.
Now don't underestimate his pass catching ability. They didn't utilize him a lot in Ohio State, but he has some soft hands.
Okay.
The question I have with him is his route running, and he's not very fast. So you got to get open in order to catch a pass. So
Right.
that might be a problem as far as that goes. Now, Dulcich is adequate tight end as far as pass receiving, in my opinion.
Right. As long as Kazmarek can block the way he's blocking, if he can be an outlet for us and be tough to tackle, I'll be fine with that. You don't have to just be the Darnell Washington. If you could be a Darnell Washington for Pittsburgh, where you're scared to tackle the guy because he is a massive human being, he's not that fast either. But if we can just have Kazmarek be that guy, all right, you're wide open, catch the ball, get us 4 or 5 yards, and make it hard on the defense to tackle you, I'm cool.
Yes.
And now Dulcich, now I'm expecting more from him. Now I'm expecting him to take that next step. I really like his yak ability. It caught me off guard. And I really wanted to see that from him. And we haven't had a tight end with yak ability for a while. It's been a while since we had one with yak ability, and I don't count who was the guy we drafted a few years back with all the crazy one-hand catches. His name is Gesicki. I
Oh
don't.
yeah, Kazeki.
Yeah, I
Yes, I
don't.
forgot about him.
His yak ability was horrible. He had decent
Yeah,
route running, great
yeah,
hands, but his
yeah.
yak ability just wasn't there. He couldn't make guys miss. He wasn't a
No,
Travis Kelce type.
no,
Whereas
wasn't.
Dulcich, he's got a little wiggle to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. He had no wiggle to him at all. It was
No.
like catch the ball, turn around. He's like a robot. Catch
Yeah.
the ball, turn around, run straight. That's
Yep.
about it. You know. But yeah, uh, I almost forgot about him, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's shift over. Well, let's talk a little bit about the O line. Um, how do you think this O line is going to be improved with Proctor, and if Severnaya can at least be average? How do you feel this line is going to operate? You think it's going to be adequate enough to, maybe a top 20 or top 25, or you think better?
Better.
The potential.
Potential wise, and maybe I'm just being a little optimistic based off of what I'm hearing from camp. I haven't actually physically been to camp this year, but based on what I'm hearing and based on what I saw with the first unit in that first series, but I think we could run for 2,000 yards.
Really?
2,500 yards.
That would be great.
I honestly believe that with Willis running as well, obviously, I think that Achane could probably hit 1,500 to 1,600 yards, and Willis could probably give us 400 to 500, or maybe 300. Let's say 300. I don't want to run it too much, but if he could run for like two first downs a game, I'm fine. Then the other running backs, right? He's stepping up. And Gordon, if Gordon can, give us what we need, physical running, and not make dumb-headed plays like he did the other night in preseason, where and I love that half yanked them out, right away and had a talking to him. But if those guys can play well, because they're opening the holes. Now we can't be fumbling like we were last year. The fumble issues last year, that has to be behind us. But I think we can run well, and it looks like they'll be able to keep Willis clean. I believe they could be a top 15 unit if they can stay healthy.
Wow, man, that would be great. We haven't seen a line like that in a while. We had a decent line, but they couldn't. Yeah, that's true too. But even the 23 line, the O line, they were good, solid line. It just they couldn't stay healthy, and then you had a quarterback that couldn't stay healthy, and But anyway, wow, top 15. That would be awesome, man. I'm not going to say that they don't have the potential to do that, but I would be happy with a top 20 O line, to be honest with you. I think top 20 O line, that gives them room for improvement for the next year and onward. They can make improvements, and I think they will. I've always said this: you don't need 5 All-Pro linemen to be a good O line. You just need a couple good, O linemen, really good O linemen, and the rest can be above average, and even serviceable. Depending, right. So I think we'll be. I agree with you. I don't know if we'll be a top 15. I'm saying top 20, but that's fair to say 15. But I do believe we would definitely be a lot better than we were last year, in my opinion, and especially with Malik Willis back there, he's going to make the O-line better as well.
Exactly.
Right. So that, and then, let's shift over to the defense. Let me go over some of the injuries. I was going to go over some of the injuries today in practice.
All right.
We had some injuries. Today they were missing in practice. Defensive tackle Zach Sealer, since we're going to be talking about the defense. Defensive tackle Kenneth Grant was injured. Linebacker Ronnie Harrison Jr. Linebacker Jordan Brooks. Edge Robert Beal Jr. On offense, we have tight end Ben Sims. He's been out for a while. Quarterback Gwen Ewers. Wide receiver Theo Reese. an edge, Cleveland Farrell, who was making a name for himself in camp, but he's injured now. The two that concern me the most are Zach Sealer and Jordan Brooks.
Right.
Zach Sealer and Jordan Brooks. They haven't, disclosed what any of their injuries are, but look what happened to Salyer, right? They weren't saying much about him, and all of a sudden we find out he's on injured reserve and out for the year.
Right.
Hopefully that's not going to happen with these guys. Hopefully these guys are just have some minor injuries that they're being precautious about. EM Dolphin fan, thank you for joining. How you doing, brother? Britt, I want to thank you for joining too. I didn't mention you earlier. And also Cat for Life joined in earlier as well. I want to thank you guys for joining the show tonight. So shifting over to the defense. And before we do that, David, let me I don't know how you see PFF grades, but I look at them as more like an indicator of the player's performance. And sometimes if you go back and you watch the all 22 film and things like that, and you look at these players, their performance, it kind of lines up with the PFF grade.
Okay.
Not always accurate, but it kind of just gives you an indication of how these guys are playing. I'm going to start with the offense real quick before we get to the defense side of the ball. O-lineman Caden Wallace, who we just picked up from, I think he played with New England, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He was the best O-lineman for us last game.
It's crazy.
87.5 grade.
Oh, wow, that's a high score.
Yeah. Of course, we know Achane, he was up there, 81. Malik Willis was 79. Caleb Douglas was 77. And Jonah Sevaniah was 72.4, which is good. Now, the bottom five was wide receiver Jalen Rager. He had 41.4. Tight end Zadu Traore, 31.2. Okay. Fullback DJ Herman, 30.8. Cam Miller, 24. And then O-lineman, converted defensive tackle, O-lineman, James Easter, 2. Not bad. Not bad. Oh, now, that depends. I wonder how many snaps they got. That's the thing.
Right.
Just a small sample size, Now the grades for the defense was the best grade on defense was AJ Green, who has been awesome in camp, the cornerback. He had a 75.4 grade. Cornerback Miles Battle had a 75. Defensive lineman for Tuma Muba, 74. Linebacker Terrell Dotson had 73. And David Ochabo, he had 72. I'm not even going to go to the bottom five. But run blocking grades on offense, again, Caden Wallace had a 91. Jonah Sevaniah had 70, so very consistent. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
he did good. Patrick Paul had 69. Aaron Brewer, 67. Andrew Mayer, 66. Josh Preby, 63. And then it goes down from there. Austin Jackson had the lowest grade of the starters. He had a 45.4. Not good.
And he's the one I'm worried about the most as far as the starters. I'm worried about him more than Sevaniah.
Me too, because he can't stay healthy. Yeah. And right now we don't have any depth at tackle. Charlie Heck has been heck in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been bad.
Yeah.
He's been horrible. So anyway, what did
before we go to defense, let me ask you this question too. How do you feel about moving Proctor to right tackle? Because I know some people are on the fence, like, should we do that or should we just leave him where he is?
No, leave him where he is.
Leave him where he is.
He's a rookie. we've already done those experiments in the past and they've never worked out. What's his name that we just we released? Oh, what was it? I can't even remember his name now. Oh gosh, the guard. He played every position on the line.
Yeah, he did. That was somebody put it
Eichenberg.
up. Eichenberg. Yeah.
Yeah, Eichenberg.
Liam
disservice
Eichenberg.
to Eichenberg. Yeah, Liam. He was moved around. We've had others, and it hasn't worked out for the most part. So just leave him at guard, let him develop, let him get comfortable there, and we need to find another right tackle, another veteran. Because I thought Charlie Heck was going to be the answer, but he's not. So yeah.
Good thing it's no longer the blind side.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And it's a good thing that Jonas Evanaya he's made a step up too.
Right.
Because that right side would be even worse if he didn't if he hasn't stepped up or not. So we'll see. But that's a good point. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. My last podcast or a couple podcasts back, I said very concerned about the that right side of the O-line because of Jackson. He's always hurt. We have no depth. Defense. So Kenneth Grant was hurt. Jordan Brooks was hurt. Hopefully these guys, Zach Sealer, man, he's really concerning too, because he's been out for a couple weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's concerning. I mean, is Father Time catching up with him? I don't know. But how do you feel if these guys, they're all healthy? Say they're all healthy, which I think hopefully they will be. How do you feel of our front line, our front, the tackles and edges? How do you feel about them? Are you comfortable
edges
with whom we have? Yeah.
Up front, in the middle, I'm very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially, I like Grant, we'll see. But Sealer, Biggers, and Jordan Phillips, love the depth there. And then you also have Kenneth Grant, who's a first-round pick. So there's some talent there, although we haven't fully seen his potential. And he's been up and down, but there's something there. Mm-hmm. So with those four guys, that's good depth. I'm fine there. I have no problems. But when it comes to the edge rushers, and I know Sealer is going to be playing on the edge and in the middle. So
and Zeke Biggers as well.
Zeke Biggers as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have Chop, and Chop has been lighting it up. So that's great. But outside of that, you have Uche. We'll see. There's no guarantee with him. And then I don't know. It goes downhill fast from there. And if we can't, our corners aren't like world beaters. So if we can't get to the pass rusher fast, it's going to be a long day. The defense so far, to take a line from Joe Philbin, makes me queasy. I'm a little queasy when it comes to the defense as a whole, because if we can't rush the passer, they're going to pick us apart. And it's not going to take, the best of the best wide receivers to do it. It could be a run-of-the-mill wide receiver, and we might be in trouble. Chris Johnson is our only hope. Outside of him, AJ Green is the only other guy I can really, see doing good for us until Storm Duck comes back, and we don't know when that's going to happen. It's not looking good on the edge. I'm not happy. Maybe you got some better news for me and make me more comfortable, but trust me, I don't like it. I don't like it right now at all.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have any good news for you. But here's what I think. I do believe that Chop Robinson has taken a step up in his pass rushing ability. He has added some moves to his arsenal, right? His technique has improved there. Yeah. As far as setting the edge, the jury is still out on that.
Yeah,
we will find out when we play the Raiders, when Gentry starts running the ball his way.
Yep.
We will find out if he can set the edge. But Yeah, and the other guys, the Usay and all that, I don't know. It's still question mark for me there. I do believe that we're set pretty much in the middle there.
Yes.
I love Jordan Phillips. Hopefully Kenneth Grant can take a step
Yeah.
up. Uh, he needs to show that first round draft ability that he was drafted for, and he hasn't done that yet.
He hasn't.
But then again, Christian Wilkins took 2 to 3 years to
That's true.
hit his stride as well. So we'll see. We'll give him another year. This year, I like to see a little. Like I said earlier, I like to see improvement in those guys, but we'll see for sure. We'll know this first game. Mm-hmm.
Another name further back, Paul Soliai.
Oh yeah,
I know you remember him.
Yeah, I remember him too. Yeah, it took a while for him to develop, and he turned out to be decent defensive tackle for us. You're right, big guy too. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Linebackers. Jordan Brooks. Yeah. If he comes back, which I think he will, I mean, we know about him. Mm-hmm. Terrell Dobson is what he is. Serviceable, solid linebacker. Jacob Rodriguez, I know in camp he's been killing it. He's made plays. He seems to be around the ball. He flies around that ball. He's not scared to move up into the box. When he has to tackle somebody, he doesn't wait for them to come to him. He goes right to them and makes the tackle. He's very quick linebacker, very instinctive. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he responds when he plays in the regular season. Look, these guys, a lot of these rookies are going to play, which they should be playing. We drafted them; they should play. We got a lot of unproven, veterans that are on minimum wage. Those guys shouldn't be be starting ahead of these rookies. We are trying to develop young players, rookies, draft picks. That's who we should have in there playing. I know a lot of fans don't want to hear that because rookies make mistakes. They're inexperienced, and that possibly means not a lot of wins, but that's okay. We've got to think we're building something here. We're building a foundation so we can build that house, that we can stand on that foundation. We're not going to crumble. We're going to build and stay firm and possibly build a dynasty. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree.
How do you feel about the linebackers? Were you happy they drafted Jacob Rodriguez, or were you you didn't know much about him, or what?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know much about him. But then when I saw that he was from Texas Tech, and that he was very instinctive and he was a ball hawk, fell in love right away. Reminded me a little bit of Zach Thomas. I mean, he's a little bigger than Zach Thomas, but definitely reminds me of Zach Thomas a little bit. Right now, you can tell he's filling it out. He's not triggering fast just yet. He's still thinking the game.
Yes.
I mean, it moves at a faster pace up here, so I expect that to happen. But when he starts triggering, and when he starts playing more instinctively, we got one on our hands. I believe that because even now he's going to make impact plays, but when he gets to that level where it's just second nature to him, because you can tell this guy loves football. And I know all the players, they love football. They're in the NFL, right? But this guy, he really loves football. You can tell like he's one of those guys that breathes this thing. So I believe with him, sky's the limit. Like maybe, in the future we can talk Hall of Fame after his career is all over. But I believe he's going to be a great, great player for us for a very long time. I love that pick, but I also love Lewis.
Yeah, Kyle Lewis.
Kyle Lewis, I like that pickup. I really like that pickup as well. And then Brooks, of course, we know Brooks. And then you got depth as well there. Because you have Lewis, you have Dotson, you have Brooks,
Trey Moore,
Jacob, and then you have Trey Moore. You have great depth. and Trey Moore can actually go to the edge if we need to, right?
Yes,
So he can help out
versatile,
there as well.
versatile.
And then you have Lewis who can help out in the slot, and now they're trying him at safety. So versatility is crazy when it comes to the linebacking core. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So do I. I love what they're developing, here in Miami. I really do. And yeah, I feel the same way about Jacob Rodriguez. I just have a good feeling about him. Um, I expect him to make some impact plays, as you said, this year. I know he'll probably be he'll be around the ball. He can smell the football. I think he'll be in the mix a lot of the times, and I think he's going to develop into a really really good player for us for years to come. I really do. I believe that. Trey Moore. Yes, he's versatile. He's been playing the edge. They used him a little bit in the game last week. He did okay. He's a guy that you're probably going to have to develop a little more.
Right.
Same with Kyle Lewis. I think he's another guy you want to bring him along. Maybe use him as a rotational player in the beginning, and see if how much of a workload he can take. Cornerbacks, safeties. You said Chris Johnson is our only hope. Well, I don't know if he's our only hope, but I think he's our hope for the future. But right now, I think if Juju Brits can stay healthy, he's a good one. He's a solid cornerback. And if Stormed Up comes back, I think we're going to have a solid cornerback core. Not great, but decent, a good cornerback core. If Storm Duck can come back this year, we'll see. Not sure if he's out for the year or not. Do you know if he's out for the year or just a few games?
Storm Duck?
Yeah, Storm Duck.
Yeah, I mean, he's still on PUP, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far along he is on his injury. It seems like for him it's taking a little longer. So he might be on the PUP to start the season, and that'll be 4 games. So yeah, because we haven't heard anything on him at all, progress-wise or anything. So
yeah,
he's probably going to be out the first 4 at minimum. We'll see what happens there, but it's unfortunate because he's a guy that can play slot, and that's what we need.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, and I don't know. AJ Green has been playing pretty well in camp. Now I don't know if he makes the 53. If he does, I think he'll be a backup and a good backup, decent backup. I think. I don't know. A lot of folks don't feel our defensive backfield, including cornerback, safeties, are that good, are going to be that good. I don't know. Maybe safety. I think safety is probably the weak link there. You got Zane Anderson, Michael Taff, and Lonnie Johnson. Zane Anderson has been a special team player all his football career. And Michael Taff, we don't know, right? He's a rookie from Texas, another guy from Texas. We got a lot of Texas players there, man.
Yeah, we do.
So we'll see on that front. But how do you feel about the safety? I get that queasy feeling about the safety position. How about you?
Yeah, same here. The safeties, even with Lonnie Harrison, Lonnie Johnson, I can't remember his
Lonnie
last
Johnson.
name.
I think it's
Lonnie Johnson.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be good enough for me. Like, we need a bona fide safety, and we don't have one on the roster, in my opinion. And that's a problem because we know what type of league this is. They like to take shots. And if we don't have anybody to protect the middle of the field and that has range from sideline to sideline, because we're not just going to play 2 deep safeties. No, we're going to give you different looks. We're going to give you the cover 3. We're going to, do a lot of exotic things where we're going to be bringing pressure, because we need to bring pressure because, our edges aren't the best, where you can just line up, when you can line up 4 guys and then just keep the rest of the guys in the secondary, that's fine. But we don't have that luxury. We got to send 6 at times. And when we do that, that means that at safety, you better have some dudes, and we don't. We're vulnerable there. Hopefully, some guys step up. We haven't heard in camp that there's a lot of 60-yard, 70-yard bombs. We have heard of there has been a few, but there hasn't been a whole lot. So maybe they are, holding up, because safety is one of those positions where you either don't hear about them, which is good, or if it's a good thing when you're hearing about them, it's because of an interception or a pass breakup. And we haven't heard really much of anything from the safeties. So maybe they are holding up when it comes to training camp so far, the practices. But I still don't like, based on names, I don't like what we have so far. But we'll see. That one, we'll see, but I'm queasy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I guess I'm being a little hopeful for the quarterback position too. But I don't know. Maybe they're not that good either, as maybe they're in the same position as the safeties. I don't know, but I'm just hoping that they can make some plays and they don't get toasted because like you said earlier, we got a lot of tough teams to play this year and a lot of good quarterbacks and wide receivers. That's why when people say, "Oh, we're going to go 9-10," 9 or 10-7 or 11-6 and all that, I'm like, dude, have you seen the schedule we have? Now, I get you. I get it. There's injuries happen, right? Some teams that are projected to be really good don't turn out that good. But if you look at the teams we're playing, those teams have been pretty consistent as far as playoff berths and things like that. So, they've been on the trajectory of going up, not down. So we'll see, man. I'm just excited about this year. I haven't been this excited in a while as far as I got to take that back. I was excited in McDaniel's first year when they got Tyreek, when they got Waddle, when they had all these different players and things like that. The Terran Armsteads went out and got all these guys. I was kind of excited. I really felt that and McDaniel is not a good head coach in my opinion, but he's a good offensive coordinator.
Right.
I think this is I'm going to make this statement now. Herbert is probably going to have the best football play of his career this year because of McDaniel.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
If he made Tua, an average quarterback, look like a Pro Bowl player at times, right? What do you think he's going to make Herbert look like? Exactly. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that guy has a rifle for an arm.
Oh my God. There is some film of Mike McDaniel on X. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, and he was throwing the ball. He's like, whoa. I mean, his eyes are like this, man.
Right.
He's like going like this, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Herbert's going to have his best year this year. I really do. Hopefully. Unfortunately, we're going to be playing against him this year.
Right. So hopefully not against us.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine that? Oh, my God. I think it's a home game, so maybe it won't be so bad. I don't know.
I don't want to jinx us or anything, so I'm hoping that. But, McDaniel could be a little petty. Hopefully he's not trying to put 70 on our heads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I remember that. That was crazy. But anyway, hey, David, I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight. And as well, I want to thank all the people that came in the chat. Britt, Cap for Life, Happy Evelyn, I appreciate you for joining. And I know there's others I probably missed, but I do appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And David, where can people find you again?
Yep. You can find me at It's been a slow off season for me, but we're cranking those videos out soon. So you can look for me there. And then I also have a food channel if you're interested. I do food reviews in the Orlando area, and that one is called Foodie Maine. So Foodie with an I-E, and then Maine, Mayne. All right, Foodie Maine. So you can catch me there. Right. And that's it. And I appreciate you having me on, man. It was a good time.
Oh, man.
And hopefully we'll do it again.
For sure. 100%, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And Foodie Maine, is that what it is?
Foodie Maine, yes.
I'm going to catch that video too, man. All right, man. Thanks again, everybody. And make sure you join the channel again next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on Tuesday or Wednesday, but just look at the food. I had food on my mind. See, you got me thinking about food now, David. Now, check the Fins Talk Sports Network. Look for Real Talk Fins Talk and catch me then. So thanks again. And remember, Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.